Welcome to MogulCast, where we uncover the stories behind the world's greatest business empires. Let's get into today's story.
In September 2022, the founder of Patagonia did something unheard of in modern capitalism. Yvon Chouinard took his $3 billion corporate empire and completely gave it away, transferring all voting stock to an environmental trust. Decades earlier, he was a dirtbag climber sleeping in his beat-up car and eating damaged cans of cat food to survive. This is the full story, and it is worse than you think. Born in Maine in 1938, Yvon Chouinard moved to Southern California as a child. By the late 1950s, he fell in love with falconry and big wall rock climbing in Yosemite. Realizing standard gear was unreliable, he bought a second-hand forge and taught himself blacksmithing. He sold hand-forged steel pitons out of the back of his car for $1.50 each. We will come back to one specific decision. It is the key to everything. Demand for his forged climbing protection exploded among Yosemite pioneers. By 1965, he partnered with Tom Frost to form Chouinard Equipment, making the best gear on the market. But the lifestyle remained meager. Chouinard survived on cheap canned goods, spent winters surfing in Ventura, and climbed in Yosemite all summer. He never intended to run a massive business. He simply wanted better tools for his own mountain ascents. In the early 1970s, Chouinard noticed something shocking. His steel pitons were destroying the natural rock faces of Yosemite. Despite pitons being his primary revenue source, he phased them out for reusable aluminum chocks. To keep the business afloat, he imported colorful rugby shirts from Scotland. Outdoor enthusiasts went wild for them. In 1973, Patagonia was officially born as an outdoor apparel company. Through the 1980s, Patagonia surged in popularity. They pioneered vivid fleece jackets, moisture-wicking synthetic underwear, and radical corporate perks like on-site childcare and flexible leave for surfing. Revenue shot up toward $20 million as Patagonia became a status symbol for both outdoor adventurers and urban professionals. Sales grew by 20% annually, establishing Patagonia as an industry giant. But not everyone was celebrating. In 1986, Patagonia committed 1% of its total sales to environmental groups, effectively taxing itself for planet preservation. But here is what the media completely got wrong about this. Most observers assumed the self-imposed tax was a PR gimmick designed to sell more jackets. In reality, it was an operational straitjacket meant to force executive discipline and discourage reckless corporate expansion for short-term profits. Chouinard proved that an unorthodox company culture could outperform traditional corporate giants. Patagonia switched entirely to 100% organic cotton by 1996, after learning that industrial cotton farming polluted groundwater. They repeatedly launched aggressive campaigns urging customers to repair their old jackets rather than buy new ones. Yet every time Patagonia told people not to buy their products, annual sales soared higher. Rapid growth eventually brought a devastating reality check. In 1991, the United States economy hit a sharp recession, and Patagonia's credit line was abruptly frozen by lenders. Sales stalled, inventory piled up in warehouses, and the company found itself days away from total bankruptcy. For the first time in company history, Chouinard was forced to lay off 20% of his workforce, eliminating over 100 jobs. The decision to cut over 100 positions broke Chouinard's heart. He realized that pursuing rapid corporate growth for its own sake was a dangerous trap that threatened Patagonia's survival. He gathered his top leadership team and took them to Argentina to rethink the company's entire identity. They vowed never again to prioritize expansion over stability, establishing strict financial controls that would shield the business from future market crashes. Patagonia restructured its operations, refused outside venture capital, and doubled down on premium durability. While competitors outsourced everything to lower costs and maximize margins, Chouinard maintained total control over supply chains and environmental standards. The company survived without taking on crippling debt. And if you have made it this far, you already understand something most analysts completely missed. Over the next 2 decades, Patagonia transformed into a global behemoth surpassing $1 billion in annual revenue. Despite running famous ads telling consumers don't buy this jacket on Black Friday, consumer demand surged to record levels. Chouinard found himself listed on Forbes' billionaire rosters, an outcome he openly despised. He repeatedly declared that he never wanted to be a billionaire and was determined to undo it. Instead of taking Patagonia public on Wall Street or selling to a corporate conglomerate, Chouinard chose a radical path. In 2022, he transferred 100% of the company's voting stock to the Patagonia Purpose Trust. All non-voting stock was donated to the Holdfast Collective, ensuring that roughly $100 million in annual profits are directed toward environmental protection forever. Remember that decision we mentioned at the start? Here is what it actually cost. By walking away from a $3 billion personal fortune, Chouinard and his family paid tens of millions of dollars in gift taxes just to give the business away. He legally ensured he could never reclaim the equity or profit, proving that a business can serve a purpose higher than personal enrichment. Today, Patagonia generates over $1 billion in annual sales across dozens of countries. 100% of its voting shares are locked in a dedicated trust, while roughly $100 million in annual profit flows to environmental causes. Yvon Chouinard successfully erased his own net worth, giving away his $3 billion ownership stake to ensure the planet remains Patagonia's primary shareholder. The standard playbook of modern capitalism assumes every entrepreneur wants an exit strategy, an IPO, or a massive payout. Yvon Chouinard proved that building an enduring empire requires rejecting short-term greed in favor of long-term integrity. By sacrificing personal billionaire status, he created a self-sustaining business model that guarantees Patagonia's core mission outlives its founder for generations to come. If you want to understand how this pattern repeats across every major business collapse, the next video covers a story with disturbing parallel. That one is next.
That's the story for today on MogulCast. If you found this valuable, subscribe and hit the bell. A new empire story drops every single weekday. See you tomorrow.